Hey, everybody. Welcome to episode 78 of the Brewnomics podcast. Today, we're talking about good movie sequels. We're just getting the show started right now, so stay tuned for kind of a dread.
For what?
I was reminding myself of a movie that I saw. He's like doing some weird radio voice. He's like, stay tuned. It's going to be kind of a drag. Crack me up. Okay, let's see here. Gotta remember to go live on the cast. Okay.
Yeah. Make sure you hit the record button. Will.
Everybody.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, man. Okay. Well, episode 78. Good sequels. You ready to do this?
Yes, sir.
All right. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1.
Hey, everybody out there in podcast land. Thanks for tuning in to another Brewnomics podcast where we drink beer and talk about stuff. I'm Jerry.
I'm Vic.
I almost said I'm Vic.
Oh.
Like, I don't know why I was just going to claim to be you for a second.
Oh, you're good.
just want to be so much like you.
Oh, man.
So today we're going to be talking about the best movie sequels. Some of these are movies. Mine, for the most part, are sequels that I think are better than the first movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Vic had a little bit different take on it.
A little bit. My take was sequels that like really do a good job at keeping the continuity of the story and world building, like improving upon that, I guess.
And I like that a lot too.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's going to be a pretty fun conversation. We got a lot of great suggestions off the interwebs.
Oh, right on.
So it'll be fun to see that. And it's also amazing how many people had the same suggestions that we're going to be talking about.
Nice.
Which is, again, kind of like when we did the best movie remakes, it's much, much more difficult to find good follow-ups versus bad ones.
Agreed. Yeah.
But we can hold off on that for a minute. First, we're going to drink some beer.
Yay.
Last night, we went to Melvin parking lot potty. Ain't no party like a Melvin parking lot party.
Because the Melvin parking lot party don't stop.
It did, though.
It did.
Unfortunately.
Eventually.
But it was at Brewers Haven, and it was a lot of fun. They kind of did a little tap takeover there. So our first beer we're going to drink is from, well, you guessed it,
Melvin.
There we go. This is kind of an interesting one. It is their Pilsner, 4.8%. So a nice beer to start it with, a little gentle. It is hot as fuck today.
It's hot as fuck, man.
As fuck.
It's an apt description.
On the can, it says, "We are constantly inspired, refreshed, and challenged by the rugged yet beautiful terrain on the west coast of Wyoming. The beer you are holding is liquid sunshine and the perfect companion on your next outdoor expedition. Pack it in, pack it out, and add some pills to your gnarly life."
Oh, I see what they did. Shred the gnar. Shred the gnar. I don't know what that means, actually.
I think it's something to do with snowboarding.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
That's probably a good guess.
I don't snowboard. I mean, I'm white, but I'm not like winter sports white.
Oh, I get it. Yeah, it's a different. It's a special kind of white, man. Yeah.
Okay. So let's see what we think about this Melvin. What do we have on their website? The Untapped? Anything?
Oh yeah,
Interesting.
Their website. So I found out this beer is a collaboration. It says Teton Gravity Research and Melvin Brewing collaboration. This beer will let you receive liquid happiness after a day of going full send. The Melvin crew teamed up with the hometown shredders of Teton Gravity Research to bring you this bright and drinkable Pilsner. Perfect to pack for your next day on the hill. So pretty cool, I guess. They collaborated with Teton Gravity Research. Yes. And so should be pretty fun. Built for the snowboarder in mind, having a fun day on the mountain.
Yeah, or look, it's with it being 4.8 and so light, you can pretty much see through it. Great summer beer, camping beer, outdoor activity beer.
Straight up activity beer. I was thinking of doing some fun lawn darts.
Hells yeah, that's exactly what I would do with this one. But it's not bad. You know, it's a Pilsner. It's light. It's drinkable. It's got some flavor to it.
A little bit of flavor. Usually with a Pilsner, don't we get sort of like a kind of a biscuity quality?
Yes. Yes. A little bit more biscuity than a lager. I think probably the different type of malts that they use with it.
Yeah. I'm getting like a sweetness.
Mhm.
Do you get that?
A little sweet, a little crisp,
A little crisp. Refreshing is
very
hell.
refreshing. It is perfect for how hot it is right now.
Yeah. What is it today? Like 95?
All right, something to that effect. Let's see if
Silly.
we do a little refresh on the temperature gauge here. It says 93.
Yeah. Warm
So,
day.
yeah.
Warm day.
Warm
This
day.
is perfect for it, man.
What do we have on Untapped rating wise?
Untapped has a sitting at a 3.64 currently, derived from 2,861 ratings.
3.64. Not a bad rating.
Mm-mm.
Not a bad beer. Pretty appropriate for a Pilsner. Somebody posted on our Facebook page asking actually what some good Pilsners were. Because they've never really had any other than like your shitty Miller Lite style wannabe industrial Pilsners.
Mm-hmm.
This one.
This one came up?
No.
Oh.
Because I'd never had this one.
Gotcha.
This is the first time I've had it. So last night at the party, I was drinking pretty much their Jesus, their Mexican lager, because, you know, I'm a sucker for those on hot days.
Absolutely.
But to the person that asked, try these guys.
Yeah.
For a nice little Pilsner. Should be pretty readily available in this area if you've got a good beer selection somewhere nearby.
Absolutely, man.
It's 3.64, 61 right around there. What do you think of that?
I think for what it does, I think this is what I would probably describe more as a utility beer. Like, you want to do activities, but at the same time, you don't want to be held down by a super heavy or super alcoholic beer, like some craft beers can get to. So I think for what it does, it's fine. I think it's a fine rating, 3.64. I'd probably agree with it. I'm gonna shoot from the hip and say 3.25 personally. Yeah, just because I can really see myself drinking this on a hot day, as well as if I want to go like camping, snowboarding, chilling. Yeah.
I'm right there with you. I think I would do a 3.25 also. It's good beer. It is flavorful. It's got a little bit of personality, but really only a little bit.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where it's at. And of course, you know the rule. If you're under 5%, you're very rarely going to get above 3.5. In fact, I don't think I've ever rated one above that. So I'm going to give this a 3.25 for what it's worth. It's a very good beer. It does have high redrinkability. But if you want to get drunk, this probably isn't what I would start with.
Correct. Yeah. But yeah.
We'll get into that later. Don't you worry. We're going to warm right up. Shall we get into some news?
Let's do it, man.
All right.
What's happening?
So, you know, it's not the funnest when we have to start podcast this way, but we got to get a few rips out of the way. Lost some people since we were last on. One, Rutger Hauer, famously known from, you know, The Replicant and Blade Runner. That wasn't Harrison Ford. And he was in a whole bunch of movies. You definitely know who he is. Sudden illness at 75. What's crazy about this is in Blade Runner, he was a replicant that died in 2019.
No way.
37 years later, he dies in 2019.
Wow. Weird. That kind of blows my mind.
A little bit. Yeah. And then another one, which is, so that one's a bummer. There was one a little bit more tragic, though. Warren Appleby. You may recognize that name because he is a pretty big stunt coordinator. He's actually the stunt coordinator on the show Titans.
Really?
So in season 2, they were filming like a car flip scene, and like the car flipped and a piece of metal broke off and flew at him and hit him in the head.
Did it killed him instantly?
He died on the way to the hospital. So it sucks because he did a lot of hard work. And so it's always a bummer when stuff like that happens.
Absolutely.
Because it sounds like it was kind of a freak accident, you know. So we're going to have to give this one to Rutger Hauer and Warren Appleby.
Cheers, gents.
On some more positive news.
Cool. I like that.
Right.
Let's get positive.
Let's get positive. So let's start out with some sequel news, since this one's going to be sequels. Light news or loose news here, because it's a rumor. We don't know if it's true. They think they may have found the director for Venom 2. And it's a name you absolutely know, but not from directing. Andy Serkis.
Really?
Yeah.
We're talking about Golem?
We're talking about Gollum.
God damn.
We're talking about Claw. I mean, so many other things, but
Oh.
yeah, Andy Serkis. I don't know if he's
Really?
ever done any directorial work or. I really have no idea. I didn't look it up on the IMDb. But one, I'm totally okay with it if they change directors because I did not like Venom.
No, didn't like it.
Didn't like it.
Okay.
I like Tom Hardy as Venom.
Okay.
I like that one chase scene in it
Yeah.
on the motors. Everything
Yeah.
other than that, I fucking hated about that movie.
Yeah, I feel like they tried to make him a hero, and
Mhm.
I was like, I don't see how
Well, a
that's
little
working
bit
out.
that he's more of a hero even than an anti-hero, but the villain was terrible. The
Mhm.
love interest was terrible.
Mm.
Just the plot in general was terrible.
Yes.
There was so much just not awesome about it.
Yeah.
But we'll see. So I'm fine with it being a new director, and it would be interesting to see if Andy Serkis does a great job, or if he may not even get it.
Oh,
But-
he's just like in the running for
Yeah.
it. Okay.
So we'll see what happens. Though.
Yeah, kind of exciting. I like to see an actor step up to the director's plate, usually because they have like a really interesting understanding from a character standpoint.
Well, especially the sort of characters he's done.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
played
from Gollum and then Caesar from Planet of the Apes. Yeah. And then of course how we've seen how good he is in live action too. So he's done a lot of wildly different movies, all of them super important with visuals. Pretty good storytelling movies for the most part too. So I think he's picked up quite a bit. I would be very intrigued.
Yeah, me as well. I'm excited. I hope he gets it.
Me too. Because hey, why not? It's not
Hey.
like it's going to be worse than the first one.
Touche.
I mean, maybe it will be, but
you got to try pretty hard.
you got to try pretty hard.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then the other one, and I like this show quite a bit. It's terrible on Netflix. Big Mouth.
Yes, I love Big Mouth.
Yeah, it just got renewed for 3 more seasons.
No way!
Mhm.
Awesome.
And it was just pretty fun. Nick Kroll, he was going through the kind of the announcement. He did this little video on it. It was only about a minute. And like every sentence he read in a different one of the characters' voices. I just love that. Nick Kroll's kind of a hit or miss for me sometimes, but
Fair.
to see him just jump from one character to the other, it was pretty great.
Was it? I'll have to check it out.
It was pretty funny. But yeah, I'm totally down for 3 more seasons of this show.
That show was like unabashedly unapologetic about how dirty, graphic, just puberty in general really is. And some really horrific things happen
like
on that show.
3 more seasons of jacking off and maybe hanging out. I don't know if you want to hang out, but definitely jacking off.
Definitely jacking off. God, lots of jacking.
Dude, that show is something else. It really was. And I love it. I think it was the end of season 2, or maybe it was even the end of season 1, where he just straight up said, if this wasn't animated, we'd all be in jail.
Straight up, dude. Yeah, just like straight up breaks a fourth wall, turns to the camera, and says that exact line. It's gold, dude. It's gold.
And they're right.
And they're absolutely right.
And they're right. Oh, man.
I'm excited. That's cool, man. It's good
If
pickup.
you guys haven't watched Big Mouth, you have Netflix, you don't watch it in front of your children.
No.
Definitely don't. It's animated, so it can trick you. It's about, junior high kids. So you'd think, hey, my kids can probably watch this.
No, they cannot at all. Yeah.
This isn't even like let me watch it first to see if my kids can watch it. No.
This is the show you watch at night when your kids have gone to sleep with the volume down to make sure that no one can hear.
We're there at school and somehow you got the day off.
Yeah.
What?
Absolutely. Not for the lad of heart.
Oh, man. I have a little bit more news, but do you have anything? I've been talking a lot.
No, not particularly.
You look like you may have.
Well,
I was thinking about it.
I did read some news articles that I thought about, but I can't figure out where I put them. So that's on me. I'm sorry. I will search.
Well, while you're thinking about it, here's a quick bit of news that I think is really neat. The New York City Council just approved an ordinance to, I don't know if they're changing or sharing the name of what was like University Boulevard in the Bronx. It is now going to be called Stanley Way.
That's super
so they
cool.
named it after Stan Lee, and it got
Yeah.
approved just like a few days ago. I just read this one. because his connection with New York City is obviously huge,
Absolutely.
super deep. I mean, his most famous characters, Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, Captain America, they're all from New York.
Mm-hmm.
In one segment of it, the other, whether it's Queens or Bronx or who gives a shit. But I think that's really fucking cool.
That's rad, man. Yeah, that's an awesome tribute to Stan.
I think so.
That's great.
I don't know that you'd have to think like it's pretty powerful to have a major city street named after you.
Yeah.
It's like it very rarely happens, especially from an entertainer or I don't know if that's the right word for Stan Lee, but maybe a writer.
Yeah.
I mean, usually you get like political figures, activists, presidents, but not a dude that wrote about a guy in pajamas whipping webs from his wrist.
Absolutely. Yeah. He's in his pajamas or, with a paper bag over his head sometimes.
That did happen.
That
That's
did
true.
happen.
With the Fantastic Four.
It did.
And the kick me sign for some strange reason.
Yeah. The Human Torch was, first he was denied a bank loan, but secondly, kind of a dickhole sometimes.
A little bit of a dick. Yeah, Johnny's not always super nice. What else do I have here? I guess really just one more thing.
Okay.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is already Quentin Tarantino's highest grossing opening weekend film.
Dude, really?
And the weekend's not over yet.
Do we know numbers at all?
It's probably online. I didn't look it up.
Okay, that's fair. Well, you guys can Google it.
And a few podcasts ago, I saw an article that said it was like GQ Australia. That's right. Quentin Tarantino may be done with movies. He said he doesn't know he has anything else left in him. Well, there may be an update on that because apparently he's been thinking about Kill Bill Volume 3.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And apparently Uma Thurman's on board.
Wow. I mean, I'm not sure how to feel about that, mostly because
what else can you do with the franchise?
Exactly. Yeah, I'm like, it kind of got wrapped up in a bow, didn't it?
One thing that I heard, though, on where maybe is more of a Kill Bill Volume 3, but she's almost the bad guy in this one because I can't remember her name. Was it Vivica Fox in it?
Mm-hmm.
Where she kills her and pretty much in front of her daughter.
Yeah.
And now enough time to where the daughter's grown up and is chasing after her.
Oh.
That was some theory that I read online or saw on the YouTubes.
Possibility. Yeah.
But to me, I mean, it seems like a little bit of a stretch. I guess it depends on how you age it up, but I don't know how else you could continue it on.
Yeah.
I tell you what, though, if there is a Kill Bill Volume 3, no matter what, that will be his highest grossing film of all time.
Oh, yeah, dude. That's probably one of his greatest franchises he's ever created.
Mm-hmm.
Easily. Yeah. Fantastic.
So,
but we'll see. Could suck.
Yeah.
Go out on a high note, though. I mean,
exactly. Too, if you have a movie that's so successful like this one, I haven't seen it yet. I really want to. Mm-hmm. I know a few people have seen it, and they said it was phenomenal.
Oh gosh, yeah, I'm jealous. Got to get out there.
Yeah, I definitely want to. So maybe we'll be talking about it later. But today, it's not that day.
It is not today.
That's all right.
No.
Okay, that's all I got.
Yeah, I tried to find my articles. Apparently, I forgot to save them. My bad.
Shit happens. It's a pretty light news week, and that's okay because our last week was a pretty much pure
news heavy.
So I'm okay with keeping it a little bit lighter.
Yeah, I mean, it was really just going over the fallout of San Diego Comic-Con and what was going on with that. There was just a boatload of news that came out of there.
And there was a whole lot we missed from that one too.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know we could have made that one a 2-part episode, like a fucking 5-hour one.
Yeah, easily.
So there was still a lot of good stuff. The one that I do wish we brought up though, because it was during Comic-Con weekend where Avengers finally surpassed Avatar.
Oh yeah,
and I had that written down and meant to bring it up, and I didn't.
You're right. Yeah, I saw a thing. Kevin Feige announced that at the beginning of his panel, if I do recall correctly. So yeah, so it looks like that re-release technically worked.
Yes, it worked. But again, Avengers is only that high, or excuse me, Avatar, because of their re-release as well.
Okay, so they're playing by the same exact rules.
They're playing by the same rules, and I think it's based off inflation. Avatar is still a little bit ahead.
Oh.
And Gone with the Wind is still substantially the number one winner.
Still Gone with the Wind. I've never seen that.
I don't know if I've ever seen it either. But ultimately, kind of those movie rankings grow. It's all bullshit.
Yeah.
Right? Because one, the inflation. You can't really I mean, you could do ticket sales, but if we look at it, Endgame's been in theaters total 6 months probably. Gone with the Wind was like 6+ years.
It was in theaters for 6 years.
Yeah, so was Wizard of Oz.
Oh,
Right there, if not longer.
I did
Because
not
it
know
was a
that.
time, if you think of it, how hard it was to make movies, how expensive they were. And so you would pretty much have the same movies playing forever until something
Oh.
else came out.
I
So
didn't
those
think-
original movies like that have such high ticket sales, it's exactly that, because they were fucking in 8 times longer, if not more, than anything that you're going to see today.
That is interesting,
Mhm.
man. I never thought about that.
But then the
Okay.
tickets cost a nickel versus, $11 like they do now.
Shit. Yeah. How does that
So-
work? Yeah.
It really is one of those things where that's like an impossible thing to rank.
Yeah, you're right, man. There's no way to accurately depict that. You can't do it.
And I don't know if 6 years for sure is accurate. You'll have to Google that, but they were in for years and years and years at a time.
Yeah. That's crazy. I didn't think about that. You're
Mhm.
right. That's cool. Yeah, but which makes rad.
Yeah.
Cool. Blew my mind there.
I wonder
Sorry.
how Zoe Saldana feels about it, because technically, if we go off of just the straight grossing dollars, she was in Avatar and Endgame.
Wow.
So
She's in 2 of the highest grossing
the 2
films.
highest grossing films, technically.
Wow.
Mhm.
That's
She was
intense.
blue in one and green in the other. Something about just coloring her up, I guess. That's
Works
how you're
out.
going to make your billions. Next, we just need like a pink Zoe Saldana or purple, or I don't know.
Like yellow.
Right.
Yeah. Blue. Yeah. Get her on primary colors and be all right. Yeah.
just go through the whole fucking color wheel.
There it is. Yeah. That's crazy, man.
She's
Wonder-
phenomenal, though.
She's
I'm
awesome,
a huge
dude.
fan of her. She's a
She-
great actress.
Absolutely. I love everything that she's
Mhm.
in so far, man. I've not hated a movie that she's been in yet.
Me either. She's been in a lot of really underrated ones. Like was she in The Losers?
Yes, I was
Yeah.
actually just thinking
Just that
about
I really
movie.
like that movie. If you guys haven't seen that, that's one of the most underrated comic book movies of all time, I think.
Yeah, her, Jeffrey Dean Morgan,
Chris
again,
Evans.
Chris Evans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Others.
Solid. Others.
I can't remember right now,
Can't either.
but no, it is a really good cast. It was a fun story.
Mhm.
Shit, bruh.
Should we drink another beverage?
Yes.
It is only us two today. We're
I
minus our
know.
counterparts, William and Paula. Couldn't be here today, so you just get to hear Jerry and I's sexy voices.
Yeah, you're welcome. So it'll probably be a much shorter, more succinct sexual podcast.
That's how we do. The triple S. We love alliteration. Short, succinct, sexual. Sexual. For those of you who love ASMR, say it with me. Sexual.
Okay. Oh man, I guess we should
Yeah.
finish this up.
What? Cheers. Since it is just us, we are drinking more beer. Yeah.
Oh, that's true. Oh God, excuse me.
Yeah. That's a very chuggable beer,
It
though.
really is. Yeah, if you
Man.
need a beer to chug, that Pilsner is a great option. That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Those outdoor drinking games, man.
Straight
Lawn
up.
darts all day.
Yeah.
If you don't know what lawn darts is, sorry.
Sorry.
All right. So this one I got off of the Tavor. Just because it's interesting, it's a double IPA, but it is a unique double IPA. It's unlike one I've ever had. This is from Kuhnhen Brewing Company. I think that's how you say it. Kuhnhenn. From somewhere in Michigan. Warren, Michigan. MI's Michigan, right?
Yes.
Okay. State abbreviations are so hard for me sometimes.
Dude, they're weird. They trip me out occasionally. Like, what was it, like Minnesota?
Oh.
I don't get it. It's like MD or something. No,
So yeah,
that's Maryland.
right. So this is called their Drippa, as in a double rice India Pale Ale. This motherfucker comes in at 9.5%. I cannot remember what the price was. Let me look that. Oh, not bad at all. It was $3.50 a can. You had to buy 2 of them, so $7 for 2 of them. IPA fans all over the country have been raving about the snappy, hoppy intensity of rice IPAs. We love them too, but they're harder to find than a grain of rice and a pile of malt. Good one. But apparently this is a World Beer Cup gold medal winning rice IPA. Doesn't go out of there. It says also, in addition to the prestigious gold medal, It has a 4.39 Brewers Advocate score, and it's the highest rated double rice IPA on Untapped.
Hmm.
Good for them.
Yeah, speaking of Untapped, I have some information here. This has
Ooh,
got a
yes.
4.14, which is it's a great rating on its own, but then can just consider it was utilizing rice instead of malts. Is that correct?
I think so. I don't.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So what I see here, I'll just read the little excerpt. It says double rice India Pale Ale. This gold-colored West Coast style. Stop me if you already read this.
No, I did not read any of that.
Okay, yeah. This gold-colored West Coast style double India Pale Ale has an intense hop nose with aromas mainly of citrus. The high hop character dominates this IPA's flavor profile. Made with American long grain rice, it is quite difficult to make, but the rice contributes to this beer's crisp aftertaste.
Interesting.
Now, I'm
So-
getting this thought too that I feel like Budweiser utilizes rice because it's cheaper. Do you ever
They
hear
they
something
do,
like
but it's a
that?
very different type of rice. I have heard
Okay.
that.
Okay.
But this is saying this brew comes from the home brewing brothers turned craft masterminds, the Coonan brew, whatever.
Mhm.
Their addition of American long grain rice in Dripa's mash creates a super dry fermentation process, subduing any malt sweetness and giving the intense citrus flavors from the hop center stage. Okay.
Okay. Interesting.
Interesting. And it says huge aromas of lemon zest, juicy peaches, a citrus overflow from the bubbly, bright straw yellow pour.
Hmm.
All right. Well, let's not just talk about it.
Let's be about it.
Let's be about it. All right. I'll be pouring this bitch out.
So yeah, this has a just to reiterate, it has a 4.14 on
That's
Untapped,
a hell of a rating.
derived from 21,000 ratings. So this is a very well vetted beer.
21,000.
That's a lot.
Wow. That is a good chunk.
Sitting at 9.5% IBUs. Sorry, 9.5% alcohol by volume and 70 IBUs.
And it says on the can to drink or serve, rather, 38 to 42 degrees Fahrenheit.
That is a very narrow range.
Or 3 to 6 degrees Celsius, if that's the case.
Yeah, I'm getting a very citrus piece on the nose for sure. Definitely get sort of that peachy, lemony flavor coming out.
Kind of a cool style on the can. You know, that's just straight green, cool texture pattern look on there.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely smells like a double IPA with a lot of citra hops.
It's smooth on first sip.
Your eyebrows went up on that one.
I
Tell
think
me more.
I was very surprised by it. I was expecting more of a citrus forward flavor, but I wasn't really receiving that.
Not as citrusy as I would think either from the description on there.
Yeah, I find it to be a very mellow double IPA.
It's very mellow. I mean, 9.5%, you would think it's going to be a little bit more pow
Yeah,
on there, but
Mhm.
no, it's not. And I'm okay with that.
me too.
I do still get some maltiness
Yep.
from it. So, but it's not like that sweet malt though. So I do kind of see where they're coming from on that one. I was hoping the rice would make a little bit more of a profile difference.
Me too. Yeah, it's hard to tell.
Mm-hmm. But I'm, at least said, this is the first thing I'm not entirely sure what I'm looking for with certain things like that. That's why it's nice to have guys like our friend Sean on here and a few others. I just met the dude when we were at the Melvin Takeover or parking lot party last night. He owns Growler Guys in Meridian. His name's Greg. Cool guy. Go say hi to him if you're out in that area. But holy shit, his knowledge on stuff like this too. It's just humbling.
Oh,
To
yeah.
say the least. So, but it seems like in general, this is a rare type of IPA to get, but it's a good beer.
Yeah.
I'm glad I still have another one. I might drink some more.
Yeah, it's has a little bit of a boozy quality. You grabbing that?
A little bit. I mean, it's definitely out. You can tell there's you're going to get drunk.
Yeah.
Like, especially coming from what we just drank, the Pilsner to this is another end of the spectrum.
Totally. Yeah, we went from 4.5 to 9.5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, that's a big jump.
It is a big jump, but it's a good jump.
It is a good jump. Tasty. I like it, man.
So, 4.15 though. What do you think about that?
I mean, it's hard to tell because I really have no like flavor background reference for utilizing rice, long grain rice. So it's good. I'm gonna sit this at a 3.75 though.
Whoa.
Well, there.
That was a weird throat noise. I tend to agree with you, actually. I do like it. I like the uniquitude of it. I
Mhm.
wish it tasted a little bit more unique.
Mhm.
It's well priced. If they're saying it's that hard to make and that rare, I'm kind of surprised they don't jump it up a little bit. I sure would.
Yeah.
So that helps a lot, but I don't know if I quite want to tip it to that 4 scale either. So I'm gonna agree again. 3.75.
3.75. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think it's too because it's got a medium to fair redrinkability on this. Just because like it's at 9.5%, you have to be careful with drinking this beverage. I mean, careful. That's a KUR.
Oh, this will get you drunk.
Yeah.
You'll be fucking fat bitches in no time.
You beat me by 1 second.
Oh man. So yeah,
Yeah.
if you can get a hold of this, drink it though. But again, I know we had one podcast before that was dedicated to all Michigan beers that I brought back in February. Goddamn good beer state.
Yeah. Dude, Michigan's kicking ass
In fact,
right now,
we have 2 collaboration beers today, and then 2 beers from Michigan. Because we have a Founders coming up, and they're from Michigan too.
Straight up, yeah, rad, man.
Total accident,
but they're turning out great breweries right now.
Oh, they really are.
Mm-hmm.
They really are, and they have some pretty cool, unique flavors in their shit. So, damn, all right, 3.75. I'm really curious to think what Will and Paula would think of this. I know Will's not a big IPA guy.
Mm-hmm.
Paula's a little bit more that way, but I would be curious. We'll see. Maybe I'll save that other one for them, but I wouldn't count on it. Rather,
that's fair. Yeah,
I'm probably gonna drink it.
That's fair. I would.
Okay, well, let's get into it, huh?
All right, man.
So before we get started, or what I guess rather to get started, what we gonna do? I threw out on the social medias to see what you fine folks thought were the best sequels out there. Alluded to that in the beginning of the podcast, but now I'm just going to kind of peruse through what our friends suggested, and then we're going to get into what we think. Cool. So I don't know how many. I only came up with 4 of them that I'm going to talk in, I wouldn't say excruciating detail, but detail. I don't know how many you have.
About the same. 4 to 5, probably. Yeah.
So I'm going to tell you just pretty much what our friends said. Some of these are going to be movies we're going to talk about. Some of them we haven't seen, so I don't know. But a lot of them, kind of some repetitive ones that got brought up. Terminator 2, nice. Desperado.
Oh, God, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm. The Dark Knight, all over the place. Yeah. Empire Strikes Back, all over the place. And these were from like Adam Stratton, Talon Conwell. Sorry, Talon. Andy Perkins, Eric Mendoza, Scott Burney, a whole bunch of that was all on just the Facebook there.
Awesome.
But then Sarah Krupp said the Toy Story franchise. Sure. Disagree a little bit, but sure.
Okay.
Scott also said National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Great fucking choice.
Great
fucking choice.
Nice.
A few people brought up Aliens 2. Andy Perkins said Endgame over Infinity War. Okay. He also said Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King. To the other 2, that's a hard one for. I think to me, all those movies are pretty much equal playing ground. I don't really have a favorite of one to the other because I just every time it's like me, it's one book, it's one movie, it's just 3 parts, but it's ultimately the same movie. So I don't actually consider that a sequel or trilogy.
Dude, I feel 100% the same way. Peter Jackson shot all 3 movies simultaneously, and it was meant to be one cohesive story. It's just broken into 3 parts.
Can't release 11 hours at once.
Yeah, like you just can't. Yeah, people can't deal with that at once.
But I appreciate that you enjoyed those movies because I sure did too.
I remember that day. It was a good day.
And let's see.
Watched all 3 movies, like all 3 like special edition movies.
And oh yeah, because I mean, if you're gonna watch them, you have to get the special edition ones.
Oh, Totes and Goats.
Let's see, what else do we got? Troy Mendenhall said Paddington 2, Mad Max Fury Road, Captain America Winter Soldier, Thor Ragnarok.
Nice.
Another fucking Gary Squires, aka Ben. TMNT 2, strictly for Prime Vanilla Ice.
Huh. Okay. I like what he did there. I like what
But
he
also,
did there.
he might be onto something.
He might be.
Brian Muir said Short Circuit 2.
Ah, nice.
Zeb Grider said Back to the Future. Eli Went said Rescuers Down Under and Fievel Goes West.
Good picks.
Love them.
Good picks.
And then I think it's pretty funny because when we were talking about this, the sequel had to be better than the original or contribute to the story, but only if the original was really good.
Okay.
Like,
yeah.
sure, Sharknado 2 might be better than Sharknado 1, but Sharknado 1 shit.
It's
I
true.
love it, but it's shit.
Or
And
like-
of course, Ashley Brennan, our friend and proprietor of Section 37 Axtrom, said Sharknado 2, obs.
Yeah, Sharknado is like the Piranha 3, like triple D. Like, come on, man. Like, love it. Love what you did.
Oh man. On Instagram, we got again a whole bunch of the Alpha Beard and Terminator 2. Then Imperial Brewer said Terminator 2, Empire Strikes Back, The Dark Knight, Evil Dead 2. Good choice.
Good choice.
Nobody
Absolutely.
else brought that one up, I don't think. And then Ace Ventura, When Nature Calls. And I don't think is better than the first one, but as good. But it's in its own right. It's definitely its thing. So I don't know. I loved all the feedback we got on this one, and it is interesting how there are definitely some themes as what the greatest sequels are of all time.
Agreed. Yeah, people seem to be all over the place. It's kind of a tough one too. So just being able, like, especially the direction that I'm coming at it from, which is like continuing the story in a meaningful way, world building, seeing more complexity come from your main characters, as well as when I say main characters, I usually like heroes, villains, like anti-heroes,
Sure.
that kind of thing. So yeah, just seeing that just get fleshed out a little bit more it's not an easy task to do.
No. It's really not. I think, in my opinion, there is one definitive answer to the greatest sequel of all time that was better than the first. And of course, the first movie had to still be a good movie, but we'll get into that in a second.
Okay.
What do you think, man? What are some of your favorite sequels? Give me one.
Oh, a lot of them that were said already were actually on my list.
Oh, same. Almost, I think every single one of them are on my list. I'm just going to add a little bit more to them.
Right. So one that wasn't on that list, I'm going to say Creed.
Oh,
Creed is a sequel to the Rocky series.
And then you have Creed 2.
Exactly. And then we have Creed 2. I haven't seen that yet. I know. So, yeah, spoilers.
I'm really glad you said that before I said so.
Thank you. Yeah, that's why I said it. Yeah, I have it. I just need to watch it, which is on me at this point. But yeah, I would say Creed, phenomenal follow-up to Rocky series.
Now, I don't know how many of them there are, but I can't think of a better passing of the torch movie ever than Creed to Rocky. And then even that, it's the best superhero, non-superhero movie of all time.
Okay.
Because if you think of it, the way the story's written, the way he is, what he comes up from, his tragedy, it's all the way to the end fight of him finally getting his superhero costume. Like, he's straight up it's written like a superhero story.
Dude, I didn't even think about that way. You're kind of blowing my mind, giving me the chills. I like it a lot. That's exciting. You're right.
Yeah, go back and watch it again with that thought in your mind. It'll change the perspective of the movie, and I think maybe make you like it a little bit more.
Wow.
I fucking love that movie, dude. It's
Creed.
So good. Fucking Michael B. Jordan and Tessa Thompson and Sylvester Stallone. They are all so phenomenal.
Dude, that movie just touches all the feels. I remember watching that, and I was just like, I was moved.
Oh,
like,
wait till you see
emotionally.
Creed 2.
Oh, God.
Wait to that one. That's a different type of emotional roller coaster. Like,
is it? I heard.
You need to watch it.
I'll get there. Yeah, at least this week. It's on my list.
Make sure you have some tissues.
Okay, dude.
Some tears gonna flow.
Dude, like the first one, man. I was just like like a torrent was
Mhm.
coming out of my face. I was like, I didn't
Oh,
know I
yeah.
had this much liquid in my body.
Dude, straight up.
Like,
And Creed 2 is one of those movies I'll go as far to say, like, I don't know. There's some people that try to be super machismo and manly and men don't cry. You're not a man if you don't cry at this movie.
dude, I agree.
Like,
Yeah. I'm like, you
straight up.
are you? Yeah. Like, are you? Is there a problem with you? Like,
Yeah.
can you not connect to that story emotionally?
Mhm.
Yikes.
Yeah.
That's
But fucking great choice, man. Like I said, you got to watch Creed 2, though, because I'd
Mhm.
love to continue the conversation with that one. And just for the fact that it's a movie that you just got to watch.
I mean, without giving anything away, though, what would you say Creed 2 is? Is it a good follow up to the first one?
Oh, it's an absolutely phenomenal follow-up.
Okay.
Because at this point, you kind of get, he becomes a little bit more of his father, Apollo, in the sense that he's super flashy, he's super cocky, and then
It's very flamboyant,
very
charismatic.
flamboyant. And then he, obviously, you know, he's going to have to fight Drago's son. And I don't want to give away too much of the boxing match on how it went or story-wise, but he gets the shit beat out of him.
Oh yeah,
Like bad, like super, super bad. And then it's kind of just that sinks him into this massive depression. He's becoming a father for the first time. He doesn't know how to become a father or be a dad on there. He
right.
kind of has a little bit of a fallout with Stallone. So of course the boxing's still top notch in it. It was awesome to have Drago back and his son. Another real great rendition of the father figure, the man he was before him. But the depth of the character arcs in this one it takes it to the H&L, bruh.
Talking about that whole
Nother
nother level. Yeah.
You gotta watch it. It's
Okay.
I love it. I really do like it. I would. It's so Creed's so good to me. It's hard for me to say that movie really outshines the first because obviously you wouldn't have Creed 2 if it weren't for Creed 1. But it is a perfect follow. It matches it. I guess punch for punch.
Nice, nice. I like that. Right on, man. Cool. What do you got rolling around in that mind of yours?
So for me, I think maybe one of my favorite ones, especially because it created so many iconic characters that even weren't in the first one that had super iconic characters. And I'm talking about Austin Powers 2, The Spy Who Shagged Me.
Fucking nice pick, bro.
Because I fucking love the first Austin Powers, the International Man of Mystery. The third one, but the first two, I just think are so great. It really shows the genius that Mike Myers can have on there. And I love that they started it with, was it? I can't remember the Elizabeth Hurley. Yeah. With her just being a fembot and dying right in the beginning. And Basil's just like, oh yeah, I meant to tell you that. My bad, and just moves on.
Yeah.
It's just new story.
Yeah, absolutely. You're like, you're just gonna breeze on by that.
Watching that in the second grade, you just be like, "What the fuck?" And then Mini Me comes up, and you're like, "It doesn't matter anymore."
Yeah.
This is the greatest thing I've ever seen. Between Mini Me, the music in that one, I love so much, especially Dr. Evil in that one when he does just the two of us.
Oh my god, dude, I lost it, man. I like memorized that song.
Yeah.
It was gorgeous.
I mean, Fat Bastard, how great Mike Myers was at that character. I can't remember. I'm spacing on the girl's name that comes in. The American.
Heather Graham?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Dude, I loved her in
She's
the seventh
fantastic.
grade. I was just like, oh, she's the hottest thing I've ever seen.
She's a special lady.
But she was good in it. She was really funny. Of course, that scene in the club where he's trying to kill that chick. Why won't you die? Like, I fucking love that movie, man.
Man, it's great. Yeah, you're right. It brought so many cool characters. We got Mini Me, Fat Bastard. Ah, God, it's great, man.
Scotty really blossoms into his own in that one. You have that Springer moment in
there. Yes, that's right.
What is it? My dad is evil and wants to take over the world. Whatever. It's just,
God, dude, it's so great. Don't they do like a group too?
You're quasi evil. You're the Diet Pepsi of evil. Just 1 calorie. Not evil enough.
Dude, good pick.
I really hope Mike Myers sometimes, or because there is talk that there may be a 4th Austin Powers, totally based around Dr. Evil, though. Which I think would be cool, and I'd kind of like to see it come back as long as it's done well. Who knows? But
who knows?
That's one of my all-time favorites.
Dude, great pick, man. Great pick. I'm thinking one of my other favorite sequels. I don't think it was brought up, but I'm gonna say Superman 2.
Ooh, I wonder. I saw that on some lit. I bet somewhere Troy actually said that. I would be surprised if he didn't.
Mm.
I read through there were a lot more comments that I'm sure I didn't bring up. I really love the feedback on this from people. It was awesome.
Nice, man. Yeah, well,
So
sequels
tell
are.
me why you think Superman 2 is better than Superman 1.
Well, I do love being origin story. Actually, I really love being origin story. But this one, I'm talking about the Christopher Reeves version.
Correct.
Yeah, it was the
The Richard Donner directed one.
Yes, it was the Richard Donner cut on that one. It was really well done. I think the villain in that, like, you get to see Lex Luthor come back, played by who was he played by? I'm spacing.
Oh my God! Come on.
Oh no!
Now I'm embarrassed.
Me too.
I'm sure there's somebody out there listening when they're just yelling at it, or just not Michael Rosenbaum.
Nope. Yeah, Superman 2, done in 1980. Oh gosh, am I spacing on his name?
Gene Hackman.
Thank you.
Okay.
Gene Hackman. Yes. Absolutely.
That little known actor, Gene Hackman.
Yes.
I don't know if you've seen him in anything.
Just a few things.
Christ, how are you not thinking Gene Hackman between the two?
I can't believe I totally spaced that. Yeah.
It's this 9.5 double rice IPA, apparently.
Yeah, the rice is all in my brain.
So Lex Luthor with hair.
He looked good. But yeah, I mean, we just get a flushed out version of Clark Kent coming in there. Christopher Reeves, I think, is the greatest version of Superman that's possibly ever existed out there.
I may go as far to say that's undisputable.
I would, yeah. I mean, props to Brandon Routh, Henry Cavill. You guys did a
Henry
decent job.
Cavill is physically the best looking Superman.
Agreed. Yeah.
But the Christopher Reeves was that man was special. The way he embodied the character, and not just obviously the strength, because he was a big, strong dude. He really was. But it was so much deeper than that. He really understood Clark Kent, I have all this power. I could literally take over the world in an instant if I wanted to, but it's my responsibility to make it better.
Exactly.
And he was able to find that and bring it out somehow.
Well, yeah. And then and this one, like, just to remind people, the arc of this story was that he didn't like all that power. He was willing to give it all up, and he does give it all up for Lois Lane so that he can be with her and not have to deal with the mantle of being the Superman. And unfortunately, he gets called back because the 3 Kryptonians break out of the Phantom Zone due to a nuclear explosion in space, which is nuts. First of all,
it happens.
And yeah, weird happens. So they come out and they try to take over the world. And it's Superman Clark Kent's coming back. He's like, fucking gotta step up to the plate, man.
Yeah.
And he steps up to the plate and takes out 3 other super people. Crazy.
Yep. Well, and that's the thing that was so awesome, the way he had to do it, because these Kryptonians, when they come to Earth, they have the same power he does, except Zod's military, like very high military trait. Superman really never had any of that training. I mean, there was a little bit where you'd see him trying to like depower himself to fight with Batman to kind of learn some more, but when you have that sort of power, you don't need to.
Exactly. I've always thought of Superman really as a brawler when it comes down to it.
1,000%.
Because
you don't need technique when you're invulnerable
and super fucking strong
and fast and can shoot lasers out of your eyes and
freeze
ice breath
and see through stuff. Yeah, he's really like the Swiss Army knife of fucking heroes. But like for this particular movie, man, I went through a roller coaster of just like seeing his arc as a character,
because he has that heart. He knows what he has to do. So Christopher Reeves really was special.
He really was,
and not just as Superman, but who he was as a person, how good of a person he was before the accident, and then after the accident just dedicates his whole life to trying to help other people with this same thing, stem cell research, still being the best human he could possibly be. Like,
yeah,
got nothing but respect for him.
Dude, I know. The world lost that light when Christopher Reeve died, man.
Yeah.
That hurt a lot.
Yeah.
Well, and really, and just going back, his testament as an actor, like he studied with, I can't remember, but he was one of the greatest like body like movement persons in the industry.
I remember hearing something about this.
And he really like he worked out a special way that when he was Clark Kent, he walked like he hunched his back, made himself look smaller. Man's like 6'2", 6'4".
I think he was 6'4".
Yeah.
Like Reeves was a big
He's a big
dude.
and he like shrunk himself, made him look smaller and
Mhm.
more meek, and just the way like his mannerisms, it was incredible. Like you believe that he made himself look different as Clark Kent versus Superman, because then he was Superman. He was proud. He stood up straight. He was strong. He was
Mhm.
confident. His speech patterns. I was like,
And it was, and I love the way you bring that up, because it really shows, like, when people are like, oh, what, he just takes off his glasses? It's like, no, like his physicality changes everything.
100%.
So that's an absolutely phenomenal point.
Yeah, and people don't realize that. You're right. Like he's not just taking off his glasses; he's being a whole different person.
Yeah, like you literally, like you said, he's hunched over, he shrinks a few inches. Like it's pretty crazy, and you could really see Christopher Reeve kind of demonstrate that. It's also one of my biggest pet peeves when people say Reeves instead of Reeve, and I'm pretty sure I've said Reeves like 8 times.
Oh, me too.
So
yeah,
it's the
9.5%. Whoops, Christopher Reeve. Yes.
Oh, but that's an awesome pick, man. Great choice. I love that thought. Well, I'm going to go into one let's talk about the one that was brought up a lot. This to me is, so again, I think that's undisputable the greatest sequel of all time. This is number 2 to me, as far as sequel to the original one kind of goes before it, The Dark Knight.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think a lot of people would disagree with me and maybe put this number 1, and I understand that and I respect that, but you're wrong. It's number 2. Maybe as a whole a better movie, but the jump from the first to the second, I dare say the one I'll say is more iconic than this one. But The Dark Knight, holy shit, what a good movie.
dude, that is a phenomenal
And
pick,
Batman
man.
Begins is pretty good.
It's pretty good,
Okay.
but it's a The Dark Knight is a perfect follow because, like, in my opinion, Christian Bale fleshes out Bruce Wayne as a character. He's at this point we're thinking about he's peaking, right? Like
Mhm.
this is him working at his very best. And so we need a villain that comes out as a good villain, a good anti-hero to his hero.
Mhm.
And we get that in Heath Ledger. Just the movie stunts. The Christopher Nolan storytelling in this movie is perfection.
Oh, absolutely. The scenes in it too. It's just it really is a phenomenal one. And I think a lot of that really does come down to, again, Nolan's ability to tell a story, the way Christian Bale really did. He's a great Bruce Wayne and a great Batman.
Which
We've had a lot of problem with other actors either being a good one or the other, not both.
Yeah.
Or maybe good at one and great at the other one, or good at one. He's great at both.
He is, and that's a tough one to do. You're absolutely right bringing up that point. Is a dichotomy, and one's either a really good Batman or they're really good Bruce Wayne. It's hard to do both.
And then, of course, what made that movie really special, which we all know what made it really special, it's Heath Ledger.
Dude, phenomenal Joker, man.
Yeah.
Like, no other person can do what Heath Ledger did right there.
Absolutely not. You know, and he is the greatest Joker of all time.
Agree.
He really is. As much as I love Mark Hamill with the voice work, he's really great. Troy Baker with the voice work has picked it up phenomenally. He does an awesome job. Nicholson was kind of cool with his little gangster aspect with it to begin with. Cesar Romero, he was terrible. You wouldn't even shave your goddamn mustache. You just painted it white. Yet somehow you were still a step ahead of Jared Leto.
Somehow, yeah.
But you were all chumps compared to Heath Ledger.
Chumps, dude.
Like,
yeah.
It's not just that, the way he invested, like you hear the stories, that one interrogation scene where Christian Bale was trying to talk him out of, like, Heath Ledger's like, you need to hit me in the face as hard as you can. That's not how we cut this. No, it needs to be real. Hit me in the face as hard as you can.
That's straight up Fight Club, dude.
Straight
oh
up.
God, that's right.
Yeah, Tyler Durden would be a great Joker. Come on now.
Yeah.
But he just, what a great job he was with it. And then all the side casts that we get with that too. Of course, Gordon's great in that. Joseph Gordon-Levitt, he was okay, you know. But then when you bring in, Michael Jai White gets a pencil through his eye.
Oh no, he was
oh no, he was. It was part of his crew.
One of his cronies.
Yeah, if his boys did, like,
dude. Let me show you a magic trick.
That boat scene was absolutely phenomenal. Dude, in the end, just what it did from a storytelling aspect.
Dude, I was on riveted, dude.
Mhm.
I don't say that word lightly. I just thought of it. That was such a suspenseful moment. I'm like, what is he gonna do? And Batman is basically hoping on the hope of individuals doing the right thing. He's like, I know the city better than you do. It's just both such a huge gamble, man. Crazy. Loved
So
it.
yeah, that one was again. That one might have been if not the number one, close to the number one suggested from our Brewnomics brew crew. So
Perfect.
obviously they got good taste.
Obviously, they got great taste. Excellent job, everybody. That's you.
Yes,
Nice work.
your turn.
Okay. The next one I'm gonna go with is Back to the Future 2.
Okay, also got a lot of love.
Also got a lot of love. I love Back to the Future. It's first of all, I love the first one, but the second one, once again, great follow up to the first movie. Michael J. Fox does. He is Marty McFly. I don't. There are actors who can embody a character, and then there's a great many of them who can do that, but to truly be Marty McFly and to like have you believe what's going on, it's a hard task to do.
Yeah, and on the flip side of that, not just that, but how many other people could have been Doc Brown other than Christopher Lloyd?
Nobody. Yeah.
Exactly.
And that's a great point to
Yeah.
bring up. Just no other person can do what these people did.
Mhm.
Like you've captured lightning in a bottle.
I fucking love Christopher Lloyd.
He's great, man.
He is such a good crazy person. He's funny. He's genuine. I think he's always been real underrated. But I've always been a big fan of Christopher Lloyd.
Me too, man. Every time I see him, I'm just like, fucking Doc Brown, man.
He's got such a fun voice too.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I
Yeah.
could do a good Christopher Lloyd.
Yeah.
If I worked on it, I probably could, but my first attempt is not going to be right now.
No, yeah. You're not gonna hear it now. I'm like, insert Christopher Lloyd here. Beep. No, so I think this Back to the Future 2, great follow up to the first one. We get to literally go to the future, right? Yeah, go to the future. Go to the past.
It's like, wait, which
So,
direction?
yeah, well, just just working out the time on that one is kind of difficult, but yeah.
Oh man, one of my favorite moments is Stranger Things season 3. Small spoiler alert, but when they're watching Back to the Future and Steve and I can't remember the girl's name right now are out at the end of the movie and they're just so confused. He's like,
Nancy?
wait, if they go back to the past, why is it called Back to the Future? Because the past is the present. They have to get back to the present, which is whatever she explains it. And she just goes, what?
Oh, Rob. Oh, you're right. Yeah, Robin was doing that.
Robin, thank you. That's her name. She tries to explain it. Man, that was such a great scene.
Oh yeah, yeah. They were all jacked up off truth serum. Yeah, that was outrageous. That was fun. But yeah, no, like he just like it's cool because he's like seeing himself do these things he did in the first one, but you get like it's a much deeper part of the story. Like you see him doing the Johnny Be Good moment, like helping saving himself and stuff like that. Like it's
you may not be ready for this, but your kids will be.
Yeah. Marvin Berry.
Dude, that's really awesome because also I don't know why I just had this thought, but if we were to make the most iconic villains in movies of all time, we both just named a movie where you would have to pull one from. You have to have Heath Ledger's Joker, and you gotta have Biff.
Dude, Biff, you're right. Yeah, absolutely. Biff is a solid thwart to like Marty McFly, just always working in the background.
Yeah,
to fuck his day up.
Plus the Back to the Future series, which I'm not a huge fan of that series. I do respect it though. It does have my favorite cameo or lines up a cameo because you have the same person cameo in each 3 movies, but a totally different character. And I'm talking about Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yes. I love Flea.
That he fires his dad in the second one because he's his boss or
whatever. Yeah, just like the future stuff too. Like he's wearing like the double ties. Like I love like the attention to detail. And they did some mind bending stuff with special effects, which I thought was really good. Robert Zemeckis, fantastic, dude. He's a great director, great storyteller.
Oh, absolutely. Zemeckis has always been pretty underrated, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, BTF. The third one, not as great. Didn't like the third one.
Nope.
Not a fan.
Not a good movie.
Which is interesting because I saw the second. They shot the second and the third one simultaneously, and the third one seemed to suck a lot more.
So didn't they do the same thing for The Matrix?
Correct. They shot Reloaded and Revolution simultaneously.
Neither one of those were good.
Nah, yeah. They were not good.
Reloaded has some redeeming qualities. I guess Revolutions does too. But no.
Yeah, that's why like I struggled to bring it up because I was like, I love The Matrix. That movie is what put me down the road on what great movies could
Changed
be.
life. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
it literally changed my life.
As far as like movies that have the potential to do that, absolutely.
Yeah, and then just seeing the second and the third one, I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So it was just tough. Like the CGI, that burly brawl sequence, kind of broke it for me. Just the amount of terribleness that they did, given they were doing the best they could. But
Were they?
yeah, good call. Were they? Were they?
Were they?
Yeah.
Let's take a break real quick, and then we'll get back and finish up with a few more picks, drink a few more beers. Call it good.
Call good. Sounds
All
good.
right.
Later.
Enjoy this fact. I definitely got a tingle.
Good call. And let us put on. All right, guys, coming back from break here. Hope you enjoyed that ad on YouTube. You just held silence, so there you go. Listen to the podcast. All right.
Facebook. Welcome back, Facebook.
Facebook, welcome to the show. Okay. You want to bring us back?
I suppose.
Oh, sure. Okay. All right. Here we go. In 3, 2.
All right, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that fine fact about whatever it was. I know what'll make it more enjoyable. Listening to us drink this beer.
You know, I've always really thought about it. I'm like, they really just listen to us drink beer and talk about stuff. It's fun.
It
like
is,
that.
I guess. Thank you for your support.
We do.
So this is a collaboration beer number 2 on the episode, and also our I Tap That beer. So this is one that was brought to us by Will. Thanks, Will. But it's fairly readily available if you can get a hold of it while you still can in this area. It is between Mother Earth Brewing Company here out of Idaho and Fremont Brewing Company, but they are out of California. However, this was brewed and canned in Nampa, Idaho, so the 1000% counts as our I Tap That beer because it also has the Buy Idaho symbol on it.
Straight up. And you know what? I learned something. We were at Mother Earth yesterday at one of their beer releases for their new beer Primordial, which we'll have on the cast a little bit later. Not this episode, but probably another episode. But I learned that Mother Earth Brewing in Nampa, Idaho is their largest brewery from the 2 that they have. So the one we have in Idaho does the lion's share of the work.
Well, absolutely. And that makes a lot of sense because it is the number 1 distributing brewery in Idaho.
Yes, they beat Payette and Sockeye, which is not an easy task.
Especially since they're the newest of the 3, too.
Mm-hmm.
But they have a good base from where they came from. So, yeah, this is going to be hopefully a good one. It's a nice little hazy India Pale Ale, clocking in at 7.5% alcohol by volume, using Galaxy, Mosaic, Eldorado, and African Queen hops.
I love that. African Queen hops. It's a silly ass name,
It
but
really
I like
is.
it.
I absolutely love it. Other than that, being their IPA collab 2019, that's what I got on this one.
Yeah. Untapped doesn't have a lot more on here. Literally, it says everything you just told me. Sitting at 7.5% alcohol by volume, no IBUs. This has got a 3.97 on Untapped, derived from 1,455 ratings.
Got a whole bunch of sediment in the bottom.
Yes, I was just saying this. What do we call that? Flocculate? Something.
Well, I mean, flocculation is when the yeast doesn't settle and it kind of gives it that cloudy look. But I mean, this straight up looks like sediment in the bottom of it. Yeah, and there are a few, beer pages that I'm on Facebook with a lot of local beer enthusiasts, and I've actually seen a few people post things on this where they were like, oh, there's a lot of sediment in this beer. That doesn't really mean anything to me, especially with the hazy on there. So whatever.
Yeah,
like I said, it's not going to mean it's a bad beer by any stretch.
Nope.
It means it's a real beer.
Yeah. It's just how the process works to get a hazy.
Right. So, most importantly, I guess, let's drink and see what it tastes like. Got anything fun on Untapped for us?
Not really. 3.97 rating, as I mentioned earlier, came out from 1,400 ratings. Yeah.
Already at 1,400, huh? Dang. Doing pretty good.
Mm-hmm. This is part of their 4-season summer. So part of their 4 seasons series that they do.
Yep, and they do a different one. I think they already almost have their fall lineup out because I think I saw that when we were at Brewers Haven, which was like a stout, I believe.
Yes.
I don't remember who the collaboration was or if they're doing them all with Fremont, which wouldn't be a shitty idea at all.
Nope.
Fremont again, also for the most part. I know I'm saying for the most part, I have yet to have a bad beer from Fremont.
Agreed.
I like those guys.
I can't think of one.
Not bad for a couple of Californians.
Yep.
Okay. What do you think? What do you rate it? And would you tap it? So again, if you're a first-time listener, I tap that. It's essentially would we put this beer in a keg, put it in a kegerator, share it with our friends, want to drink it again for long enough, essentially, to tap it. So let's see.
Yeah. So this will be kind of special. Are we able to do that with just you and I?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It
All
makes
right.
it a little bit more powerful, a little bit tighter rule. So
Wow.
typically, they're usually a minimum of 3 of us. This is probably the second or third podcast where it's only ever been 2 of us.
Hmm.
Um, and we try to do 3 out of 3, or if there are 4 of us, 3 out of 4. But since there are 2 of us, obviously, as the math would dictate, got to be 2 out of 2.
Okay.
If the
All
other
right.
ones wanted an opinion in it, they should have shown up.
Nice. All right. I like that. So let's go over what we got. Drinkability. I do think it's medium to high on this one. If I'm going to go from a low, medium to high scale, it's got a nice fruity, fruit forward sort of an aroma to it. It's refreshing. So that's why,
Actually, citrusy.
yeah,
Get a nice little bit of orange in there, I think.
yeah, agreed. Orange, kind of lemony.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which usually you get from a hazy. It's very smooth. It's got a nice crisp and clean mouthfeel to it. The sediment's not disruptive to the view for me. I think it's pretty natural.
It doesn't bother me at all.
Doesn't bother me at the least. Low head on it, which is nice.
Yeah, I like it. It's citrusy and it's juicy without being like a juice bomb. Because
Yeah.
that is one thing I do have a little bit of a problem with some hazies and New England style IPAs is they get overly juicy.
Good point, man. Good point.
This does not get overly juicy. This is a
No.
really well balanced hazy. It's a top notch hazy to me. I'm gonna give it a 3.75 and I'm gonna tap it.
Are you? Okay. I am also gonna 375 it and tap it.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
God, Vic and Jerry are in sync
Just in
tonight.
sync.
This last beer that we're gonna do, though, let's see how that goes.
Might
It's
be
gonna get weird.
Might be a little
It's gonna be
silly.
a fun one to finish on.
Yeah.
So let's keep going with our sequels then.
Yeah, man. Okay.
So this is my favorite sequel. This is not definitively the best sequel. I'm saving that one for last, but this is my favorite sequel.
Okay.
As far as one from the other, I absolutely love this movie, and I'm going to go as far as to say it's the best movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Hit me.
Captain America Winter Soldier.
Woo.
That is absolutely my favorite. I adore everything about that movie. It is not just, and I'm sure I've said this before, it's a phenomenal comic book movie. It's a phenomenal action movie. It's a phenomenal story of friendship. And it is a phenomenal martial arts movie.
Dude, fantastic. Hit it on every part of a story, man. And that it does such a great job. We get a much more fleshed out Captain America. We get the revival or the return of his best friend, Bucky Barnes, as the Winter Soldier.
Not that we get the introduction of the most underrated player, second most underrated player in the MCU. I'm talking about Falcon. Anthony Mackie is phenomenal as that character. Phenomenal as an actor.
Yeah,
God, he's good.
He's great.
I love their chemistry in it. Yeah, to me, the winner and Scarlett Johansson is absolutely phenomenal as Black Widow in that movie. I really, really enjoy it.
The stakes are high in that movie too. I mean, we have the advent of that project that what's the name of that project again? Project Insight. I'm sorry, where they have the sort of the 3 helicarriers getting up in the air, utilizing the Stark technology thrusters, and they're about to kill the world essentially. With all the people who can be huge players, we get some huge name drops like Stephen Strange in there, which is nuts.
And they even referenced, I think, to a kid that crawls on walls. So we got a Spider-Man reference in there. So yeah, what Jasper Sitwell, whatever his name, what's totally his name. Yeah. But it was so good, and that's one of these things that I like sometimes, and not always. But one advantage that like the MCU or a superhero movie has, or maybe the same point that you brought up with Superman 2, and maybe another reason why Dark Knight shines like it did, is your main and protagonist. They are fleshed out as a character. We know their backstory now. So now we really just get to do deeper dives into it. And I think that saves a lot of time as far as what you can do to tell a story and gives you a lot of advantages. And this is just such a great example of that because we already know who Steve Rogers is.
Yep.
We know who Bucky Barnes is, but not in depth like we should.
but we get to learn about him a little bit more
Exactly.
through him becoming the Winter Soldier.
And then we get a lot more fleshed out Black Widow in this too. She grew a lot as a
She
character in the
did.
MCU.
Absolutely.
So and then like we said before, the introduction of Falcon, and then the choreography and the martial arts in this movie is so fucking good.
Phenomenal, bro.
Like
Top notch,
the
man.
the judo in it, so good. But also not just that original scene where on the overpass on the freeway and they jump down the bus, the fight scene between Captain America and Winter Soldier before he realizes who Bucky is. Sebastian Stan's ability to, that was not a stunt double, that was him doing the knife work with
Dude.
it. And holy shit, it's good.
It's great, man. The knife play, bar none. I read or heard somewhere where Sebastian Stan had practiced for 6 months. He just owned that.
He obsessed with it.
Yeah.
Like I did too, where he was literally like at a stoplight in his car, playing with the knives, doing just different hand. It's just amazing. God, he kicked ass at it. That fight between Captain America and George St. Pierre, aka Batroc the Leaper.
Yes.
Not just how great that was. When he says to him, "I thought you were more than just a shield," in French, and he responds, "Well, let's see," in French. And what's awesome is George St. Pierre choreographed that whole fight too.
Oh, he did? I didn't know that.
Yeah. Oh, I mean,
rad. Of course. I mean,
you're going to tell George St. Pierre how to fight? Come on now.
No. Top UFC fighter.
Of all time, maybe.
Kicking ass.
So I could go on about this movie forever, but to me, it's my favorite sequel from one to the other, and I love the original Captain America. I really like Civil War as well. This is the best out of all of them, I think.
And I totally agree with you there, man. It's a phenomenal example of a sequel, a follow-up to world building that we had in Captain America, the first Avenger.
Yeah. I'll be the first one to tell you I'm biased as fuck. It's my favorite superhero and my favorite martial arts, and they do both so well. So,
dude, yeah.
I do definitely get grabbed into it a little bit more. So it is kind of a personal movie to me. But I think even without that, this conversation would be pretty much the same.
Agreed. Yeah. No, I respect the fuck out of what Chris Evans, Sebastian Stan, Anthony Mackie did in that movie, man. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. Love it.
Hit me.
So another sequel that I really enjoyed, Logan. Now,
okay,
I say Logan because, and I'm going to preface it with the fact that I think that there is basically a trilogy of Hugh Jackman's sort of one-off series within the X-Men universe.
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense? Because we had X-Men Origins, Wolverine, right? Then there was another
the Wolverine,
where
he goes to Japan,
and then we have Logan.
Sure. Okay.
So, and I would preface, and that's how I think this is a sequel.
Okay, and I guess that's fair. Because that was brought up a few times, and Logan just stands such a testament on its own. Is like those Winter Soldier you can't watch without watching the first Avenger.
Yes,
you have to. You can watch without watching these other two.
True. Which makes,
in fact, maybe I think you should. Yeah. If you haven't seen all three of them.
Agreed. Yeah. Which is a testament to, number one, Hugh Jackman as an actor owning this character he's owned for over 17 years. Kicked so much ass with this movie. It's a perfect resolution to what Wolverine is within this X-Men universe. Because it's like we have the movies, we have X-Men, and then we have like in a subplot, sub-universe within a universe sort of deal, we have the Wolverine, which is interesting to me. And so,
and the Wolverine actually, with like X-Men Origins was shit.
Yeah,
it had like maybe a few dope scenes in it, but as a whole, it was shit. The Wolverine actually not bad.
Not bad.
It was really not bad. I
really
wasn't a huge fan of the way they turned into like the Silver Samurai. I think they could have done better with that, but not a bad movie, especially when it comes to a lot of other X-Men movies. Logan's one of the greatest, not just Logan is the truest film when it comes to a superhero movie, like a film that you want to study and dissect and actually belongs in like the congressional library sort of movie, like that will always stand the testament of time. That's Logan.
Yeah.
Through and through, man.
And like with sequels too, we're usually talking about the second movie in a 3-part series, but I think this one definitely wraps it up quite nicely. And the third movies typically always do a little bit worse qualitatively than the first or second one.
Almost without exception.
But in this
save maybe Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
And
a great
again, because it was
example.
as good, not necessarily better, but yeah,
Yeah.
very rarely.
No, and it just Logan, like it just wraps up the character of Wolverine so nicely, and it's got heart, it's got character, it's so genuine.
It's got murder.
It's got lots of murder.
It's
in
got
it.
Wolverine berserker rage.
Straight up, dude. And we just have
Got a hilarious, adorable little X-23.
yes,
That little Latino girl. Oh, she was good.
dude. She nailed it, man.
Yeah.
Nailed it hard, and that was even better. That was such a wonderful surprise to see when I saw this movie.
Dude,
I
I
was like,
love that part where she just doesn't talk, and finally talks and just won't shut up. Just starts ripping into him in Spanish. He's like, what?
It's in it. And then the coolest thing he does, like any like awesome father might do, is like try to learn to understand. Like he's trying to learn what she's saying because he wants to know. And I was like, God, that's so endearing to me. Like,
Okay, I'll give you that. Yeah, Logan's a great choice. Absolutely a great choice.
Yeah.
God, what a good movie, man.
It's just a great movie in general. Just a great movie.
That's another one. Try not to cry when you watch that one.
Straight up, dude, right? Oh my God. All the feels.
Yeah, and I think we watched this one together. One of my more favorite YouTube channels, which I love, is Honest Trailers.
Yeah.
And the Honest Trailer to Logan, like, and he even talks about, he's like, it's really hard to make fun of this movie, man. It's so good.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. The
He
narrator.
does the sad X-Men theme.
Yeah. Oh, God. That was a great one, man. Because he gets it, man. He's like, this is a great movie. I can't even be mad about this anymore.
Oh, you can't be. It really, like I said, it's genuinely one of the best films of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Derek just joined us and he said Ace Ventura: When Nature Calls is obviously the best choice for sequels.
Now, Jerry and I love Ace Ventura. I mean, we have a special kind of respect for that man.
We're not going to get into that story on here, but oh yes, we do.
Yes, we do. But
the first one's so good.
So good.
It's the second one is not better than the first one.
Agreed. Sorry,
But
D-Rock.
It's but goddamn it.
But goddamn, it's good.
Okay, so you ready for this? Let's see if we're going to stir up some controversy, but it's true, so everybody's probably going to agree in what the greatest sequel is of all time, undisputably. Not subjectively. Wait, not objectively. Wait. What's the one where it's not an opinion?
Objectively?
Yes.
Okay.
Objectively the greatest.
Okay.
Of all.
No, I'm waiting.
Terminator 2 Judgment Day.
Goddamn great choice, man. Great follow up to the first movie.
Well, and here's why I think this is so special, because the first one, you know, your bad guy, your T-100, is Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Mm-hmm.
The second one, your good guy, is Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's like one of those things where he reminds me almost as like The Rock when he was a wrestler, or Stone Cold, who technically were supposed to be heel characters, or the NWO and WCW, but they were so fucking cool. You were going to root for him either way.
Yeah.
And Arnold was a great example of that, and the way they flipped it. But not just that, the technology moved on a little bit further. The storytelling was a lot better. But what Jerry Bruckheimer was able to, I'm just going to say James Cameron, Jerry Bruckheimer was able to do with the action, how he was able to somehow make Arnold Schwarzenegger seem like a great actor. But
you were right, though, is James Cameron was the director.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Jerry Bruckheimer was the producer.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. Sorry to detract you.
No, but that's okay. But Edward Furlong was so good in this movie as John Connor. I'm so excited that he brought back. But also Linda Hamilton, man.
Dude.
The Sarah Connor. They said that movie is so fucking cool. Just with the way that they do, like I said, that scene where she's looking at herself in the park playing with Little John, and there's that explosion, and it's her and her twin sister.
Oh.
And then that security guard scene where the T-1000 melts through the fucking jail cell and comes up, and he's staring that security guard in the face, and then he nicks him. Identical twins staring at each other again. So the way he was able to cast these characters and not have to essentially use CGI more than he needed to, because it was hard at that time. He really took it to another level to be able to do that. His use of gallium to make the liquid metal move on, it was just,
Dude, yeah.
and then how fucking cool Arnold is. I
Dude.
mean, I'll be back was the coolest line.
Most iconic line there is, man.
Hasta la vista, baby. Come on.
Yeah. If you go to an Arnold soundboard, and I have, trust me, it's like 90% of the soundboard is the T2 movie, man.
As well it should be.
It's great.
And I think, definitively, that is the greatest sequel ever made.
You know what? I'm going to have to agree with you.
Yes.
I really do, because it outshined the first one. You could poll 10 people, and you're going to get 9 out of 10 people saying they remember the second movie, not the first one.
Absolutely.
Because that's exactly how it worked for me. I saw the second one first, had to go back and watch the first one. And I was like, why did I watch this?
Why did I watch this? You don't need to.
You don't need it.
That's the whole thing with it. Kind of like it shares that connection with Logan. It's so good. You don't need to watch what came before it.
Exactly.
Dark Knight, you have to watch what came before it, which to me is why it takes a second place. Same for Winter Soldier, same for Austin Powers 2, same for all those silly ones. Technically, I guess you can watch them without watching the first one, but you're going to be lost as fuck, and it's going to make no sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one stands its own, man.
Absolutely, man. It stands on its own, which that's what takes that movie to the HNL, like we were talking about earlier, man. Like that's the epitome of a great sequel.
God. Plus, no one on earth has ever looked cooler in a leather jacket, toting a shotgun, riding a motorcycle than Arnold Schwarzenegger in Terminator 2.
Can't do it.
It's literally impossible to be manlier than that.
No, you can't. Yeah,
try it.
I'm thinking
you can't do it.
Impossible. Yeah, because I'm thinking of the sequence when he saves John Connor.
Oh, when he just pulls him up from his dirt
on the truck.
Oh, and that canal scene, dude.
So great.
And again, I think that's what made this movie so special. Was there's really almost no CGI in it.
There really isn't.
And like even the metal stuff, why it looks so good was the use of gallium on there, which is incredibly. It's a metal that melts at a really low temperature, so it's really easy. And when it melts, it has this real cool mirror look on it, and they used a lot of that. So the melting of the T1000 and the reforming was just gallium and melting out, pouring it in reverse, sort of thing, and doing the film in reverse to make it look like it was growing instead of pouring. It's so fucking
that's
cool,
so
man.
rad, dude. That's so rad. Thanks for letting me know. That's
so like the depths that Cameron and Bruckheimer took in this, their powers combined, man.
Yeah. They became awesome.
They made such a good one. So, and it sucks so hard. And I know we beat this to death on the podcast with how far they dropped from, Terminator 3 and then, Genesis was the last one. I'm spacing on I want to say Revelations again, but now we're going back to the Matrix or Revolution.
Right.
Salvation.
Thank you. Okay.
There we go.
Nice.
Which again was okay, but still. Nothing will ever beat Terminator 2.
Yeah, that right there is the epitome of what's a great sequel in my mind, especially in that series.
Exactly that. And also what's a great action movie.
It's great. Yeah. It's an action movie with heart, which not a simple task.
No.
Not a simple task.
I remember watching that movie. I think the first time I watched it, I was probably 8 or 9 years old. And maybe I've talked about this on the podcast before, but I know I've told you, man, that scene at the end where he knows he's got to die and he's going, slowly down the chain into you can't call it lava because it's just molten metal essentially. And he's dying. He just does like the thumbs up. I cried so hard as a little kid, man. I'd probably still cry if I watched that movie today as a grown man knowing it's coming.
Oh, yeah, what's happening. And yet you're still moved by it because like the work that Arnold did for that character, it switched 180. You're like, oh man, this guy's a fucking killer.
Yeah.
He's a cybernetic killer. He's a full-on robotic killer. And then it switches.
Yeah.
And he's the hero.
And that's why I'm so excited to see what they do for this Dark Fate one. Also on how they're going to do that, because obviously they're retconning everything after 2. From what I've heard, it's pretty much him as a Terminator has started this. He's a respected businessman. He started like his own dry cleaning business and has this run-in with Sarah Connor, and she of course doesn't trust because she still never really knew he was a good guy, even the second one. Because if you've seen the first one, obviously he tried to murder the shit out of her.
Still a little sore about it.
So I'm really curious to see the direction they take this in.
Me too, man. I'm excited, especially like time travel is such a weird thing, and that happens in Back to the Future too, which is why it's sort of a hard story to like re-encapsulate. But this one in particular too, you're like, they're gonna retcon like 3 movies, essentially.
Yeah, or they're going to retcon 3 John Connors.
Yeah, that's crazy to me,
The
man.
3 Sarah Connors.
That's like time travel, dude. It's such a gnarly thing. It blows my mind. But yeah, hopefully, and then hopefully we get a better concept of the Terminator story. And I'm thinking more as a purist of a trilogy.
Yes.
So that might be really something cool that comes out of it.
And that's what I'm hoping they do with this one too. Is a good final respectful wrap up.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got anything else on sequels?
I got a couple more, a couple like really notable ones. Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah, what a great movie.
I think it's a great movie. It's
the best of the Thor movies too.
Yeah.
Easily. So again, one of the few rare ones in the number 3 is the best, Bo.
Exactly, and which is why I bring it up, because that's a rare thing. Because the first one.
First one's good.
It's good. It's for an origin story. I get it. It was fine.
It's got some problems for sure.
Yeah,
but it's still a good movie.
I think Kenneth Branagh did a really good job at giving what he did to the characters. It had more of a Shakespearean sort of like ethereal kind of feeling to it,
sure,
which it kind of needed because that's where he was coming from.
It's totally a fine movie.
It's fine. Second one, not great.
We've talked about that. Thor: The Dark Thor.
Thor: The Dark Thor
is the worst Thor.
Not cool. But then we get a gentleman, T-Dubs, Taika Waititi rolls in, and he changes the game.
Oh,
changes the game, and we get my man Jeff Goldblum coming in.
So good,
fucking kicking ass.
Tessa Thompson was a phenomenal addition too,
Valkyrie.
Especially, which was kind of a bummer because the one really good thing about Thor 1 and Thor 2 was Jamie, what's her name, is Lady Sif. She was phenomenal. So the fact that we lost her for whatever reason, who knows, maybe she'll come back. You want that strong female addition with something like Thor, because obviously within that universe, there are a lot of very strong, great female characters with it. So it was really cool to see them bring in Tessa Thompson, who wasn't just your kind of stereotypical hot chick that can fight. She had demons. Yeah, bro. And she didn't want to overcome them, but she knew who she was and that she had to. And she was so phenomenal in it.
Super phenomenal, man.
The Hulk was phenomenal in it.
Hulk was super phenomenal, man.
Always Thor and Hulk's relationship is so much fun.
Absolutely.
So much fun in any of the movies. So yeah, Thor Ragnarok was it. That franchise needed it. It really did, to have that boost, because when you have a leading man like Chris Hemsworth, you shouldn't be able to go wrong. And they found a way to do it in Thor: The Dark Thor.
They did.
So it was really cool what Taika brought to this one. And I can't wait to see what else we get from him. He's so badass.
Absolutely, man.
Such a fan of Taika.
Great work,
Plus,
man.
Taika Waititi. That's a cool name to say.
Do you just not smile every time you hear it? Just say it. I just love saying it. Taika Waititi. I mean, at the end of that word, I'm smiling. That's what happens.
Yeah. What else?
Another one that deserves a remarkable regard would be John Wick Chapter 2.
Ooh, yeah. But again, it's not better than the first one, though.
It's not.
But a great way to continue the story.
Which is why I bring it up. Yeah. A great way to continue the story and to get more world building. We get to learn more about the Continental, about the High Table, about
what the universe.
Yeah, just the universe.
And it's in no way worse than the first one.
No.
But there is one thing they did better than the first one, and that's the music.
Yes.
And John Wick 2, what an underrated soundtrack.
Fucking nostalgia, though.
So good.
Fucking love them, dude.
So good.
Yeah, turn me on to it.
Yeah. And they're pretty rad. Yeah, another great choice.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see what they do with, isn't that the name of the TV show going to be called The Continental?
Yes.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting one. That'll be a fun universe to see how they kind of delve into that a little bit deeper.
Yeah, that's one series I'm really excited to actually get into. So,
do you know what platform that's going to be on?
I do not.
I'm not sure either.
Not 100%.
Okay, let's do this another quick break real quick, because my seal is broken. Let us know what we've missed for sequels, because there may be one or two. So if you want to throw some more down, please do. But until then, enjoy this ad, and we'll see you in a second. Facebook, I'm not stopping. You can fucking deal with it. Get back. Oh, man. a lot of kind of diversity in the characters that he plays.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be real. What he does better than anybody on earth could do.
Mm-hmm.
He is a special man.
Agreed.
Batista's ability to dive into characters, change characters, take different ones on. He is a better actor between the two.
Agreed.
It just is what it is.
Those are big
you know?
words. I think The Rock's probably grossed more. I can't even say that because
he totally has.
Well, Batista's been in Guardians and
true, and Avengers.
So,
True.
I don't know.
But as far as like who led the studio, though, The Rock definitely wins that one.
Agreed.
And I'm not shitting on The Rock. I fucking love The Rock.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying Batista is underrated as an actor. This movie was a good way to show it. Hotel Artemis was a good way to show it.
Love that.
The best way to show it though was Blade Runner 2029.
Dude, I love God. Great sequel. Why did we not talk about that earlier? Great
True.
sequel.
I guess we probably should have mentioned Blade Runner.
Fucking Blade Runner.
But is it better than the original? The original is so good.
Yeah, you're right. Fair enough.
But I guess it does deserve to be part of the conversation.
Good world building.
Good world building. Very good world building in that one. And then if you've got YouTube Red, I just finished Cobra Kai season 2.
Oh, God, yeah, that's on my list, man.
You've got to watch it. So, we loved the first Cobra Kai.
Yes, we did.
This one was really good. It's 10 episodes deep.
Okay.
First episode's 45 minutes. Every one other than that is 22 minutes.
Sure.
To half, so pretty short.
Yeah.
The first half of the season is like super fortune cookie, like white people karate. The story's a little cheesy. The karate's a little cheesy. I mean, karate as a martial arts is a little cheesy. Let's be real. There's a reason you don't see karate being the dominating martial arts in the UFC.
Fair.
Okay.
I get it.
No disrespect if you're a karate guy, but maybe a little. I
feel like you can say that because you have a black belt in judo. Yeah.
But it is really good. And Billy Zabka, God damn, he's good, man.
Dude.
I say this, but again, even the cheesiness in the first bit, it got a little hard to watch it sometimes. But again, he just pulls you in. He's so genuine. He's so good. This show really is charming. And then you turn like episode 6, 7, 8, 9, really 7, 8, 9, 10. They turn the dial up to 11. Man, the story gets a lot more deeper. Some tragedy ensues between the characters. There's real darkness, real development. I'm not going to say anything more because I don't want to spoil it for you or anybody that hasn't watched it. But holy fuck, dude, the last episode legitimately had me like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Where's the rest of it? I need season 3. Right? What the fuck?
Wow.
Is he dead? What just happened? What the fuck?
Okay.
I'm not going to say anything more than that.
Sure. Yeah.
But oh my God, dude, like holy fucking shit. I can't, season 3 is right around the corner, I think, but I need it now.
Okay.
Oh, what a great fucking.
Damn, that's the best way to leave people, man. Such a hanger, bro. Right on.
Dude, huge cliffhanger. And they're really, but so I'm pretty excited to see kind of how the story continues.
Me too, man. All right, yeah, that's on my list. Hopefully, I can finish that this week as well as Creed 2.
There you go. That's gonna be a good week.
We'll get there.
That's all I got, my man. You got anything else good for the people?
I think I'm good, buddy.
I think I'm good also. Well, thanks for sticking around. Again, if we left out a sequel or you disagree with us, go ahead and let us know. But until next time, be good to each other. Buy a friend a beer. Paula and Will say hi.
They do.
I'm Jerry.
I've been Vic.
Cheers.
Cheers, everybody.
I'm like sweating.
Dude, yeah. I think it's like 77 degrees in this house. Bye, YouTube.
Bye, Facebook. Bye. Who's watching? Oh, you got it. Bye. Bye, Sarah.